You know, I tried to avoid this video because I knew it would just be an avalanche of short-form dumb, but you're making me do this. I've received over 5 requests for this particular video, and so I will tackle it. But just remember that you did this to me.
Why do you assume only other races like fried chicken? I love fried chicken. It should be a white person stereotype because of me.
That's right! It's the 33 questions white people have for white people video. I sincerely hope that they realize whenever they are asking white people a question, they are by extension asking it of themselves, considering they are white. So this man just asked himself why he thinks that only other races like fried chicken. First off, I don't think that, and I'm white. Secondly, we don't have any room for any more stereotypes because white people are too busy being stereotyped as racists. But not you. You're one of the good ones, right? You're acting as if white people is another group that you aren't a part of. You are one of the people you are asking the questions of, dude. Maybe instead of assuming that all white people are racists, you should do some introspection. Maybe the problem rests with you and the idiotic backward beliefs that you just said that you believe you hold, and not with all white people. Attention BuzzFeed. Having white people bash white people doesn't make it any less racist. It just makes it sadder.
Why do we make it so we only have pumpkin in the fall? I want pumpkin all the time.
Then have pumpkin all the time. Buy whatever pumpkin-flavored crap you want and store it. You can probably order it online year-round too. And I notice you said we make it. First off, you used we, which means you can't get out of the cognitive problem of assuming white people are a group you aren't a part of. There wasn't a secret meeting of white people who said, yes, let's let them only have pumpkin in the fall. Especially since it's another stereotype that white people like pumpkin stuff. Why would we take it away from ourselves? I hate looking like you because it means I have to say that I have something in common with you, even if it's just our melanin levels. Now already getting upset?
Why can't most white people dance?
Seriously, like, is it genetic or something? Do we have, like, stiff hips or, like, 2 left feet?
I can dance.
And here we come to the crux of your problem. At least she said most, but here, just watch these 2 clips a few more times.
Why can't most white people dance? I can dance. Why can't most white people dance? I can dance. Why can't most white people dance? I can dance.
That's right. Most white people can't dance, but not her. She's not your ordinary white person, you see. I understand that this is a popular reference in humor, and I'm totally okay with that. But it sounds like they actually believe the things that they're saying, especially since the category of this video is people in blogs and not comedy. And since the description of this video states, you know that a 2-minute video about whiteness isn't reverse racism, right? So before you pounce on me for that, yeah, they're serious. And I sincerely hope that description is an actual question in this video because I'm very curious to know what whiteness is. It totally doesn't sound racist or anything. I'm sure it's all positive stuff too. Yay!
Why do you get so annoyed when other people don't speak English?
English is hard. We have silent Ks.
¿Qué? Hay gente blanca que no pueden hablar inglés.
Why do we get so excited to brag on Instagram that we went to this really cool, authentic cultural festival, even though we went with all of our white friends?
What the fuck is wrong with that? They got to experience an authentic representation of a different culture. They got to look at and possibly try on clothing, taste the food, listen to the language, hear separate stories, learn about their traditions. But pff, look at Stacy. She went with all of these white people. How dare she post that shit on Instagram?
Why do white people spray tan until they turn orange?
Can't you just be comfortable in your own body?
I'm just saying, it's not tan, it's orange.
Hey, maybe they're just trying to be able to post their cultural festival photos on Instagram without anyone bitching at them. Thank you. Yes, thank you. Yes. Tip your waitress. I'll be here all week. Also, what's the deal with media and entertainment?
Why do you think that since you've seen 5 seasons of The Wire, you're a cultural expert?
So, I haven't seen The Wire, so bear with me on this, but I'll tackle it anyway. I mean, one of the previous people just banished white people from sharing their experiences at cultural festivals. I assume that she wouldn't like it if she saw a group of white people at some cultural festival without at least one person of color in with the lot of them. And a white person walking alone at a festival or anywhere wanting to learn about different cultures would also apply because, hey, white person, no people of color with them, and that's a problem apparently. So basically you've constrained them to learning about culture through television, and now you come along and mock them because of where they got their information about different cultures. Fuck you, BuzzFeed.
Why do you believe everything you see on TV when it comes to other races?
Why do you believe everything you're told about white people? I mean, I don't see you challenging any of these stereotypes, you're actually enforcing them. You bitch and moan about stereotypes and then participate in the very same behavior yourself. I don't believe everything I'm told about other races on television, but I'm not the one sitting there looking like a Ken doll that was left next to a campfire too long and half melted, telling white people what they think, what they feel, and asking them about those thoughts and feelings you've artificially drilled into them. Moving on.
Why do we get upset when a TV show becomes diverse, even though diverse usually just means 2 to 3 people of color?
I have no problem with a television show wanting to add new characters, but I do have a problem if they simply want to get diverse by tossing in a few people of color for no other reason except for getting diverse. First off, how do you think those actors feel? Yeah, we're putting you on the show. You'll make us more diverse. It's not because of your acting skill. It's not because you're the perfect fit for a character we've been working on. You just have the right skin tone and people are mad at us for not having more of you. That must fucking suck to hear. I'm not okay with that going on. Check your privilege. Secondly, it has the potential to overcomplicate the plot because of all these new characters that were just thrown in for no reason other than fan complaints. I mean, that's just me.
Why do you assume movies with white stars are automatically more relatable than movies with people of color?
People of color have had to relate to white characters for all of cinematic history.
Okay, so, first off in this video, BuzzFeed, you subtly equate culture and race by implying that a group of white people going into a cultural festival without any people of color is problematic in some sense. And then you wonder, oh boy do you wonder, why white people would find movies with characters the same race as them more relatable. You're setting up a false equivocation between race and culture, and then later on in the video wondering why people are so stupid to think that race and culture are equivalent. But anyway, I don't feel that way. The Pursuit of Happiness really hit home with me.
Why is Viola Davis the first black woman to win an Emmy for Best Actress?
Probably because she's a kick-ass actress, dick. Don't worry, I know what you meant. The Emmys are racist, even though black men have won Emmys before Viola Davis. Shit, maybe they just hate black women specifically in that category. Not surprising when you run it through the white people hive mind.
Why aren't we complaining that the Oscars and other award shows are like all white?
It's just like white people congratulating other white people on being white.
And Best White Person of the Year award goes to... And before I reveal this, don't worry. You were all nominated. I mean, look at us. We are white after all. Yay us. Fucking moron.
Everybody should be represented.
That's right. Winners of awards should be chosen not by acting prowess, not by how popular their characters were, none of that shit. Hey, we need us some people of color, so fuck it, we'll give you an award to keep these white assholes happy. Not because we think you're good or anything. I'm sure that feels great. And I love how you took black woman and are now extending it to both sexes of every race that aren't white people. Awfully clever.
Why don't we know the difference between appropriation and appreciation?
Why can't we figure out how to make our own pop culture, our own slang, our own cool clothes, instead of stealing other people's cool clothes and then saying that they are our cool clothes?
According to you, white people have made their own pop culture. It's called the Emmys. Presuming a race can own a trend or culture, whenever white people have a particular pop culture thing, you demand that people of color be represented, and white people don't own the Emmys. Whenever white people want to participate in a different race's pop culture thing, you cry appropriation. Whenever a person of color has a pop culture thing, white people can't use it without permission, and if a person of color wants to participate in a white pop culture thing, they should be encouraged because white people can't own shit. Duh, why are there so few white rappers and hip-hop artists winning Grammys? Maybe the Grammys are just racist. Now, if you're going to sit there and say, well, no, I mean, black people just happen to want to go into the hip-hop and rap genres more often, then this is, without a shadow of a doubt, the most extreme case of racist doublethink I've ever had the misfortune of laying my eyes on. White people have a pop culture thing, demand representation. Black people, Hispanic people, Asian people have a pop culture thing, stop appropriating. This is bigotry. You're being a bigot right now. The only difference between these statements are the races, and you treat them differently based on the race alone. That's gross. For the record, I don't think any race can own any culture or trend.
Why are white people obsessed with Wes Anderson?
Don't know who that is.
Why would you ever say thug life? It's a bad life.
Maybe because they're singing a Tupac song? Well, I suppose technically that's Thug 4 life.
What do you have against seasoning and spiciness? Didn't Christopher Columbus discover America looking for spices?
Not gonna make the joke. Guys, I know you were waiting for it, but I'm not gonna do it. I'm just gonna let that one sit there.
Their casseroles are thing.
Why was the guy at the beginning of this video trying to appropriate fried chicken? Stick to your casseroles, whitey.
Why do you try to avoid confrontation at all costs?
I was bullied in school a few times, multiple fights, and I run a channel on YouTube that's basically run on confronting people and responding to confrontation. Physical confrontation should be avoided if one can, you psycho. Next!
Why is it crazy that I'm white and I have a big butt?
Triggered. Yes, we know about you. You defy all white stereotypes and yet assume all white people are worse than you are. You are the pinnacle of white people, we get it. Can we get her off the set? Can someone get security and just tell her to go home?
Why do you make such a big deal when somebody doesn't want to hike?
Okay. Okay, dude. You're making it way too easy. Please stop. I can't take it.
Why do you keep talking about reverse racism? That is not a thing.
We are the people in power.
Racism is about oppression. Sorry, white people have not been oppressed.
You hear that, all those white Jews who were gassed and burned? You weren't actually oppressed. Hey, Irish people, you weren't actually oppressed. Hey, Europeans and Americans enslaved by the Barbary states, you weren't actually oppressed. Racism is not about oppression or power. I don't fucking care how many times I have to say this to prevent your newspeak from entering our lexicon. Racism is not about power, it is not about oppression. Racism is about discriminating based on race. If you discriminate based on race, you are being racist. And if the ones in power are people of color, does that mean that it is suddenly impossible to be racist towards them? No, I seriously want an answer from someone. If people of color obtain the majority of power in the United States, does it immediately become impossible to be racist towards them? This is such a garbage theory, and you know it. I know pretty much for a fact that you will not admit this. The rules will change in a very Animal Farm-esque way, and it will move from power plus prejudice to historical privilege plus prejudice or some stupid bullshit like that. You're a bunch of brainwashed lunatics, and you need someone to tell you that you are.
Why are you too afraid to speak up when someone says something racist?
Fuck. You have to be kidding.
Why do we think that having one friend of color means that nothing we say or do could possibly ever be racist?
You know, that runs in both directions.
Why does being half white automatically make my commentary on white culture only half true? I am just as much white as I am Mexican.
Your commentary on any culture doesn't become more or less true based on your race. I could be as white as Mitt Romney in a snowstorm, but have been raised in an area where white people are not the majority. I could have been raised in a different culture. It's just, you're basing truth on the race of the person talking. If this is the case, then black people just shouldn't be trusted with talking about white culture. You're tiring me out here.
Why do you believe that Black Lives Matter means that your life doesn't matter?
Every life matters. It's just that one has a harder time living.
Black lives matter, white lives matter, all lives matter.
Why do you get offended when you see a table full of black people, but not when you see a lunchroom full of white people?
Are you fucking serious? Offended by seeing a table full of black people? You think all white people are racist, don't you? Except for all the good ones that you've conveniently met. Whew! Thank goodness you stumbled on such luck. You only met those few and far between white people who aren't racist. Good for you! I've not met a single white person in my entire life who gets offended by seeing a table full of black people. But maybe I'm lucky too.
Why do you always ask to have a white people club?
You already do. It's the student union. It's primarily white. They have a black student union because you don't represent them well.
Aw, look at you. Speaking for black people. So in one case, we have a student union where all races are welcome to run, and another where only black people are welcome to run. Okay. Let me tell you how I really feel about this. You are insulting the shit out of people because of their race. That's it. You claim that this is about representation, but it fucking isn't. You don't think that black people have the drive or appeal to get elected to the student union. So you essentially sit them at a kid's table and say, have at it. Have your little black student union. We'll be doing stuff over here. I don't want to speak for the black people in my audience. I'm just trying to relay what I would be thinking if the races were reversed and I were in the minority. I wouldn't want a white student union. I would want to be in the student union. And I would work hard on my campaign. A white student union would be nothing but a consolation prize to me. People pushing me off to the side because I need to be treated with kid gloves on. because of the color of my skin. Go fuck yourself.
Why do you see the success of people of color as a threat to you?
I don't.
You know that a 2-minute video about whiteness isn't reverse racism, right?
What the fuck is whiteness? Is whiteness racism? Because that's pretty much what you've described. To be white is to be racist. I'm glad we finally got that little mess cleared up. Thanks.
2 minutes about whiteness, hundreds of years of systemic oppression. Yeah, I think we can deal with this.
Name one person alive today who has endured hundreds of years of systemic oppression. You can't, because people don't live that long. But yeah, that's a great idea. Let's use historical racism to justify racism in the present. I have to go stick my head in the microwave now. Goodbye.